Right, I just got a bit of feedback about. I've been meaning to do this for years, but if you have something like, so if I can find like a kick or something. This is, well, let's try to actually get a better example here. Okay, I've created a sample here which has a very sudden, very harsh transient at the beginning. So it creates a sort of a click at the beginning. If you add an offset to this sampler block, if, for example, we start the sample right here, so that should be like the click should be just as harsh, starting from here. But instead, you can hear it's very soft, and that's because blockhead will automatically, if you're not starting at the beginning of the sample, then blockhead will automatically add like a very short fade in just to avoid those kinds of clicks. But there's some situations where you do want to keep that click, and so what you can do is right click and disable smooth transitions, and now you have that very harsh click at the. I don't know how well this is coming through on YouTube. I don't know how after the video encoding whether you can hear that, but so it's quite clicky at the beginning, and then if you turn on smooth transitions, which is at the default, then blockhead is introducing a very short sort of fade in. So because it's trying to avoid, by default it tries to avoid clicking artifacts. I've also noticed a bug here where I should be able to hover over this thing and click on it to reset it, but for example, for some reason I have to do this and then it's enabled. So I'll just make a note of that on my little notepad here. So anyway, sometimes depending on what kind of thing you're working on, you might want the default to be off for this. And so I was thinking, that's always been a plan, is that I'll just add a setting so that you can choose the default. There's probably other things like that as well, which you should be able to choose a default. But at the moment, I just decide for you. So I was thinking, instead of putting it in like the global settings, it should be a project specific setting. And at the moment, I have two project specific like project specific user configurable pieces of data. There's the project name and there's comments, and they are actually saved in the project file. So basically I want to add another piece of data that you can configure on this panel here. I guess, which would be the default for this. For newly created blocks, what should the default be? So let's do that. And then after that, I'm probably done for the day because I got up very early this morning and I'm quite tired. So project settings page. Here it is. It's name, comments, background tasks. Okay, so after the comments, I will add a checkbox here. And I'm trying to think how to how to describe in plain English what this checkbox is doing. Enable. Normally I would put this in a localization file, but I'm not going to bother. Enable smooth. No, let's do it. Let's do it properly. Let's put it in the localization file. Where is it? Strings. This one. So tr enable smooth transitions for new blocks. Enable smooth transitions for smooth transitions for newly created blocks. That's a very long string. I wonder how good that's going to look in the interface. And then we go here and we say shrink center. And this is, let's do this so we can see how it's actually going to look. Okay. Yeah, exactly. It's looking a bit rubbish actually. Check button. Why have I got this weird style? That's not normally how that looks. Like I've got checkboxes here and they look like this. It looks different. I can't remember. UI settings. Checkbox. Oh, check button. Ah, I didn't realize there was two different things. Checkbox. Okay. Okay. So that is not ideal. We've greatly increased the minimum required width for this panel. But ideally, I guess I would you can put it on separate lines. Okay. Could also do this, which is not great. Okay, so that's I think that'll work. Yes. This is temporary anyway. I reckon in the future when you have lots of settings, like project-specific settings, I'll have to transition to some kind of property inspector interface or like some horrible thing like you get in other pieces of software where when it gets more complicated and you have more settings. Or maybe not. Maybe there won't be that many, and I could basically just dump them in here. just trying to decide if I wanted to disable this keyboard focus, but I don't think there's any reason to. Okay. If I remember correctly, I'm doing something weird for the project settings. Project settings. Yes, I am. Okay. Set default smooth transitions. I need to go into here. And the default is true. Okay, and then go here, add my checkbox. I'm so glad I took the time to refactor all of the controls. It took a while, but things are so much easier to maintain now. Default, smooth. Default smooth transitions. Toggled. So this part is just trying to escape as quick as possible from the GD native binding layer into just normal C++ code because I hate this stuff so much. So over time I've developed this convention for writing GD native scripts where I just try to get out of this weird macro land into just normal C++. And then I wrap everything in this thing, which catches all the exceptions. Okay, and this one. I need to just where do I have this? I don't do things like this anymore. Let's sort this out properly. Links. Name. Okay. Now I need to do something when the project is loaded and saved. But I don't know what I need to do. Is it in here? Yeah, here we go. Decode, encode. Smooth. That'll do. I want to give that a less stupid name. So these are just defining how to read and write to and from JSON, which is inside the project file. Okay, I think that should do it. And then I actually need to make it so that every time you create a new block, it will actually check that setting. Just trying to think whereabouts that should happen. I don't want to miss anything because there's about 1,000 different ways that a block can be created. So I think the way we do it in the way that you can't possibly miss it would be no, I don't know. new block. Does everything come through here? I'm not sure it does. If everything comes through this function, then that's perfect, but I'm not sure that's the case. Or this one, I suppose. Oh, wait, there's multiple. There's these three functions. I assume everything comes through here. Okay, what's going wrong? Oh, whoops. I did this wrong. Bane. Okay. Good. That's good. I'm just trying to think, does it always come through here? I think so. I think it has to come through here, through one of these, every time a new block is created. That doesn't include like when you copy paste blocks or something. It does not coming through here. I'm only talking about newly created blocks, like loading from a project file. It's not going to come through here, right? No, good. If you copy paste a block, it's not going to. If I go like this, then it comes through here, yeah. I think this is it. This is the three functions where every time you create a completely new block from scratch, it's going to come through here. So let me think. Project settings. So I am actually using okay. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's a flag. I think. PS. So I'm now wondering why these functions are split into multiple. Okay, so do it like that. That's fine. So now it always comes through here. Okay, so by default, and then turn it off. Didn't work. Let's see. Because it's defaulted in the flags, of course. I think if I look in here, yeah, I've actually set the default here. It doesn't actually matter what I do here, because what I'm going to do actually is this, because there's an overload that takes a boolean. So it's either going to be set or unset depending on that value. So that is set, turn it off, unset, and now save the project because I want to check that this value is saved to the project file. Create a new project. I think when you create a new project that should default back to on as well. Yeah, because we have a default for a default. The default for this default should be true. So when you create a new project, that should be true. I'm going to open my saved project. Okay, it's not actually... it's not... right. It's not enough to just do this. Obviously, I need to actually do something when the project is loaded. So I think that's actually... Yeah. Let's see. Read project settings. Here we go. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Set. Where's the set? Here. Yeah, I missed it. I missed this bit. That should do it, I think. So now actually if I turn this off and then go new project, yes, it does the right thing. Okay. So this is the default, turn it off, and now new blocks, it's disabled. Save to here, which I actually already did. New project turns it back on, open. Wait, did I leave it turned on or off? I can't remember. Save. New project. Open. Okay, it's not turning it off. It's not turning it off. True. So, what's going on here? Disable, save. Default smooth transitions false. So it's saving this to the project file, or at least it should be. Okay. Then when it opens the project file, it should be off. Which it is. And then what happens to that? Project settings equals true. Excuse me? What am I missing here? I'm missing something. It's off at this point. And now it's on. What? What am I missing? This is not making sense. Am I doing something stupid? Default smooth transitions false. True. What happened? Oh, read if exists. So it doesn't exist. Wait, it says false. It says it's false. True. Wait, what am I doing wrong? There's something I guess the debugger's lying? It must be lying, right? What is this code? I can't remember. How does this work? Data has key. It doesn't have the key. Okay. Okay. I can also confirm that by looking at, where was it saved? Temp. I look in here. Open this. Somewhere in here we have project settings. Project. Yeah, it just wasn't saved to the file. Was not saved. So it's a problem in the saving, not the loading. In fact, looking at this now, wait, right if has value. This is wrong. I've been meaning to get rid of this little library that I'm using for the JSON stuff and replace it with something better, because these functions are quite error prone actually. What it should be is literally just write. Or write if not default. No, I should just always write it, so. There. Okay, that should solve it. Little test again. So default on, turn it off, off. Save to here. New project, turns back on. Load the project, turns it off. Create another one, default off. Turn it on, default on. Good. That's cool. Yeah, that's a video. Stop recording.